Hey, Awesomes, it's your girl Coré on AWE Radio, where we are unapologetically empowered and always on with information and inspiration for your transformation. I'm super excited today about our guest. As you all know, we are about the empowerment of women, but it's not exclusive. We are open to everyone, and we are particularly excited when we have men who are supporting women, who are investing in other women. And today we have someone in our studio who is the epitome of just that. This is Mr. Daryl A. Stover, y'all, from Columbus, Georgia. Hello, Daryl.
Hello, 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 not only to you, but to all the awesome women and men who are listening at this time.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. We are so grateful that you have taken time out of your very busy schedule, and y'all are hear just how busy he is. Well, you'll hear a portion of how busy he is. We don't have enough time on the radio to talk about how busy he completely is, but we definitely appreciate you stopping by AWE Radio and just sharing with us today. We appreciate that.
Well, I thank you for the invitation, and it is certainly great to be here in your
Awesome.
presence. One thing that I'm not sure everyone knows is just how much you give, how much you
Hmm.
believe in the empowerment of women and people in general, and that makes you the ocular demonstration of awesome. When people see
Oh.
you, that's awe inspiring, that's eye
Oh.
opening, that is one who knows the transition from self aggrandizement to realizing that others need to be empowered to feel good about themselves. And you could walk around bragging about who Coré Cotton is, but instead you would like to pour that energy into making other people realize who they are in their own purpose. And for that, you need to be applauded.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm quite humbled by that, and I definitely am grateful to you for those beautiful and kind words. I think it's because you're looking through empowering and giving eyes, but we'll take that. We will take that. And speaking of empowering eyes, who is Daryl A. Stover?
Well, Daryl A. Stover is, like you just said, a humble being who believes that the greater me is in building the greater we. And so I can only be a part of a whole, but if all of us are together, we pack a more powerful punch. And so why should I just sit around and believe that, I should get my piece of the pie when the reality is my community needs to get to the point in a place where everybody eats. And I
Hmm.
grew up that way. I grew up in the small country town of Columbus, Georgia, if you would, deep down south. And it was a time when neighbors were neighbors,
Hmm.
where we knew them. And I was raised by a single mother myself, though my dad was present. Don't want to get that
Right,
misconstrued.
right.
But my mother raised me and my sister.
Hmm.
And in that household, she raised us to believe that it's not just where you are, but what you can believe you can be that drives you to your destiny.
Hmm.
And so she made us dream. She made
Hmm.
us believe. And that empowered you to go get it. And so that's where it all came from. That drive for me to push through school, that drive for me to play athletics, that drive for me even now to do the many things I do and to pass it on.
Love that. I love that. And how appropriate that you are here talking about the empowerment of women because you personally experience being empowered by an empowered woman. I
Yes.
love that. I love it. Why do you think it's so important for us to talk about the empowerment of women? And what do you say to men who say, what about men? We need to be empowered too.
Well, here it is. Um, the greatest example of all of this is this simple. We sit around and want to get other people to understand why we say Black Lives Matter and say we're not saying other lives don't matter. We're just saying at this point we need to pay attention because Black
Exactly.
Lives Matter.
Speak, sir.
And so now as a man, I don't get that, oh, men need to be empowered too. That's not what you're saying,
Yeah.
that only women need to be empowered. You're saying for so long, we in society have been pushed aside, and women have been looked at in some aspects as a second class citizen, even though we did most of the work, did the heavy lifting, and did the glue to keep the family together. And so let's empower you to let you know that what you do and what you did was important. Don't let anyone say because you was a stay-at-home wife or you were domesticated that all of a sudden that didn't matter. That wasn't enough. No, you did more than enough. Our church is built on the backbone of praying women. Our communities are built on the backbone of women who stuck it out even when men left.
Yes.
The home was made stable by women who said, I'm going to be a mother even if you decide not to be a father. And so for that, as men, we need to realize that there's so many obstacles, so many instances when society tries to divide us, that we as men ought to look at our sisters, ought to look at women and say, we're including you in this ride, because when we all go, then we all can grow.
Oh, that, folks, get your pens and paper. I mean, I wish we can start over. If I had thought about it, I would have told you to come to this session here with pen and paper, because this man is dropping all kinds of nuggets. And you're absolutely right in what you're saying. I know particularly the piece about women being viewed as second-class citizens. I know a lot of women feel that way in the corporate arena. So it's really important, I think, that you spoke to that and called that out, and that we can be unapologetically empowered, and it does not detract from the empowerment of men.
And even if you look at the whole idea of you gaining back your power is I am power.
Yes.
Not just empowered.
Yes.
But I am power.
Yes.
So now you can unapologetically wear your hair naturally.
That's right.
In the workplace.
That's right.
You can.
But that was a journey.
That was a journey.
Yeah.
And you can unapologetically demand salaries that are in the same range as your male counterparts.
Yes.
You can unapologetically say, I'm just as degreed, I'm just as qualified as anyone
Absolutely. Else. And on the haircut, kudos to the legislators who have said that it is now against the law, to discriminate from people from how they choose to show up, including how they wear their hair and such. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I know, I happen to have it on good authority, that you are doing some very specific things to empower and support women. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. I believe in empowering people, period.
Yes.
And so that does not have a barrier based upon age, stage, sexual orientation, race, or gender. And so with that being said, one of the things we're doing right now is we're in the middle of doing this holiday season, our Blessed to Be a Blessing campaign.
Oh, yes.
And with our Blessed to Be a Blessing campaign, what it is we are endeavoring to empower women who are sometimes looked over, sometimes even blamed for the situation they are in. And those are women who are either experiencing homelessness or that have been affected by domestic abuse.
Wow.
And so what we come to do is we say, hey, you're not alone. And where you are does not diminish the fact that you still can feel empowered. So let us help you feel empowered.
I love that.
By making you feel in this holiday season that there is some merry in your Christmas.
Oh, I got chills. I know we're not streaming today, folks, but if we were, you would be able to see the chills. And something that you said about the holidays is definitely a great precursor to something else that I want to talk to you about shortly. We will get to that. But before we do, I think it's an amazing thing that you're doing through Cornerstone of Faith. I want you to share with the listening audience, because I know you don't normally ask. So I'm going to do this for you and get in trouble later. But tell us, how can our awesomes support this great ministry in the empowerment of women and the children of women? So how can we give Folks, get your wallets and credit cards out because I'm asking.
Well, before we even get to that, let me even go into more to explain to them exactly what we're doing.
Yes.
So what we've decided is that the women who go through these situations, and I said experiencing homelessness because they're not homeless.
Yes.
This is a transitional period where they're just experiencing homelessness right now.
Yes.
They're on their way to better.
Oof.
They're on their way to destiny.
Can you say, wait a minute, wait, I'm so sorry to interrupt. But one more time for the people in the balcony who are texting. For what was that? Say that again for me. On their way to better?
They're on their way to better.
I love
this
that.
This is not your permanent place of
yes,
residency.
Yes.
It's temporary. And even if it's longer than you believe, I like to tell people this is just a permanent spot.
A permanent spot.
Yeah, it's not permanent, but it's a little longer than temporary.
Yes.
So I put it together and say it's your permanent spot.
I love it. We're going to get you a dictionary of your own dictionary. You'll be making these words up and everything. But I love that. I love that. Absolutely love that.
And so we say this season, we want you to feel like somebody because you are somebody.
Yes.
And even though society may look over you, we see you.
Yes.
And just being seen by people is enough to let people know that you matter.
Everything. It is everything. People want, sometimes you have to put the voice in the room for somebody who doesn't have the capacity to do it for whatever the reason is. And for somebody to feel like they're worthy to be seen, that's one of the greatest gifts I think that you can give.
And so during this season, we let them be seen by providing them with the resources so they can get the gifts for their kids. So then they can feel as though I am somebody. I'm providing them some joy.
That's so needed.
And so when a woman can do that for her children and feel like I'm able to give to them, it blesses them and makes them feel even more complete.
I love it. I love that. And that's true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
But then after that, we then come back and say, now that we've given you the power to be a giver, let us know that the principle of God is true. The more you give, the more you receive.
We all know that.
And so now we give the resources to the kid in order for them to bless their mother, to show that they love them and they appreciate them. So we give them gift cards so they can buy gifts or they can buy something their mother needs. And in that way, it gets a whole new sense of value to that family and a sense of normalcy.
Ooh, that is the true blessing of Christmas. It is. That's just a powerful thing to give power to a child, to be able to honor and give back to that parent who might not be in a position really to give to that child at this time. But I think that's beautiful. Now back to the question you're trying to avoid. How can we support this? Don't we want to support this? First of all, hit me up at awemediaco.com, awemediaco.com. Go to the contact us and talk to me. Let's tell Daryl A. Stover, Pastor Daryl, how much we appreciate what he is doing. He and Cornerstone, what they're doing to support women in need. We appreciate that because we're all just one step away from being in need. All of us. Not just women, all of us.
All of us. And so with that being said, those who will, your tax-deductible donation, as we are a 501c3 corporation, and a charitable organization. So if you would, you can Cash App us with $ Cornerstone Faith. And then also you can Zelle us. If many of you don't use Cash App, you can Zelle us at cornerstoneoffaithcc@gmail.com. That's cornerstoneoffaithcc, which stands for Cornerstone of Faith Christian Church, but cornerstoneoffaithcc@gmail.com. And we thank you in advance for any and everything you do because it actually springboards into the rest of the stuff we do. Because we not only attack those who are experiencing homelessness, we try to bless those who are in domestic violence situations, but we also are key to helping those, not just women, but those girls who are either in foster care or in group homes currently, so they can have a Christmas to remember.
I love that. God bless you and God bless Cornerstone of Faith. Shout out to Cornerstone of Faith.
Yeah.
Well, God bless you guys for what you're doing this season. It's just so important. And I think even though it's done this season of Christmas and whatever you celebrate during this holiday season, it's something that's going to last.
Yes.
For the impact will last for a lifetime.
And what it is it's about a chain reaction.
Yeah.
I tell people, when you've been blessed, pass it on.
Pass it on.
I know it was Patti LaBelle who sang that. I know
We're not going to ask you to sing it.
No, I'm not going to sing it. But she did an extraordinary job sending that message.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't only her, but you get Kurt Carr, amazing gospel artist.
Yes.
Who in his song, Dorothy's song, comes and let us know that he talks to God and says, I want to change the way I feel. And I quote says, Lord, send your harvest. And every time you bless, help me so I can bless somebody else.
Amen.
And that's what I just want to tell the people in Awesome Land. You need to understand that where you are is because of the mighty move and the hand of God on your life.
Amen.
And so when he blesses you, don't just be a reservoir of blessing, which holds water in, but be that river of blessings, which allows blessings to flow through you and to you. Don't just be a cistern of blessing that holds it all in, but be a channel of blessing.
Oh, I love that.
So they can use you to bless somebody else.
Be inspired, y'all. Be empowered. I like to say each one, reach back and make someone a better leader than you are today.
Yes.
I love that. And shout out to both Patti and Kurt for what they're doing in the ministry of music, because I do believe that music of all kinds, that's ministry.
It's ministry.
Yeah, so shout out to y'all.
Speaks to the whole being of a person.
Yes.
And I like to tell people, and I know we have started off talking about I'm a pastor, I pastor a church, but I just believe that ministry can be done in so many different ways.
Amen.
The Bible tells us that every good and perfect gift comes from the Lord. It did not say that every good and perfect gift that's founded in the church, inside the pew, in the hymnal book, comes from the Lord. It said every good and perfect gift.
Period.
And so if that song to you is good, it comes from God.
I love that.
And it can empower you and it can bless you. So get your song. The old Coca-Cola commercial said, I like to teach
the world to sing.
The world to sing in perfect harmony.
That.
But even if it's not in harmony, make a joyful noise.
Let's try to make it in harmony. But if not, still, yes. I love that. And of course, that particularly resonates with me because I believe in music, and music is clearly a passion of mine. So thank you for sharing that. Listen, you talked about the season. I'm excited to talk about something that you are doing both lyrically and musically for this season, not just for women, but for everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean globally. Please share with our awesome community what we can look forward to in this regard.
Now, this is even more humbling than anything else I've done because I stepped outside of my box.
Yeah.
And a shout out to my the amazing team that helped put this together. That includes you, Coré Cotton, J-Rock, who is as the engineer and putting it all together. Things that I don't even understand being done, but I trust them, and that's a part of it. But we're coming together to empower people during this holiday season, because the reality is, and normality is, that all of us go through seasons, not just during the holiday seasons, but our seasons of life in which we experience the ebbs and flows of life, the highs and the lows of life. And so if we're honest with ourselves, we go through this and sometimes we withdraw because we don't know how to get through what we're going through. And so we put together a project with just the spoken word and an underscore of music to remind you that there's a rhythm and a heartbeat underneath everything you do. But you are the one who can walk out of whatever you're going through. And so just looking at this holiday season as a microcosm of your life, You know for a fact that there are moments when you can sing joy to the world, but there are other moments when you want to say no to the world.
That's so real.
There are real moments in which you are happy, but there are moments that you suffer depression or grief. And how do you handle all of this to make it to the other side of through? We simply want to let you know, we understand that through life you go through changes. But the main part of that is you have to go through. Many of us growing up were taught the 23rd Psalm. And it goes down and says, yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. And we never really understand that the main thing was, you're going to go through valleys, but don't pitch a tent there. Don't build no house there. Don't set no foundation there. Remember, you're going through. And so when I'm going through and I'm already promised to get to the other side, I want you to see yourself on the other side of through.
Come on now.
The other side of grief, the other side of pain, the other side of hurt. And how do we do that? Tune into our project and see how do you get to there. Because we want to provide some help and hope during this holiday season.
Yes. I think that is so important, and I think its ramifications are just very vast.
Yes.
And I think it's important because I know Awesome, that you know of so many people as well as do you, Daryl, Pastor D. You have so many things going on. I'm trying to figure out what I want to even call you here. But it's really, really timely for you to do this, because I know that many people feel guilty about not being happy, particularly at this season. And I know that people don't enjoy this time of the season, and some people are just waiting for it to pass because it's so painful. And I think the beauty in what you're doing through this ministry is this clearly what it is, this project. I'm just hesitating to even call it a project, but just for the lack of a better term, I'll reference it as such. But it's so powerful that you're doing this now, because you're not telling people that you shouldn't be sad, that you shouldn't be in the midst of grief, that you shouldn't be lonely. What you're doing is meeting people where they are and letting them stand on your shoulder because they can't stand alone, and helping to pull them, like you say, through that, and letting them know that there is a praise that goes right after that, but they just have to get to it. And a lot of times I think people experience church from a guilty context, because they feel that, I'm not doing what this person next to me, I'm not shouting, I'm sitting here trying to be present, but I'm feeling this particular way, and so they wear a mask.
And that's what I was just about to tell you and say. And part of that mask, and I'll say this as a representative of the kingdom of God, as a declarer of the faith, as a prognosticator of the gospel, if you would, I'll say this. We in the church have done a disservice to the members of the body of Christ because we have masked our pain. We dress it up and we entertain on Sunday, but we don't let people know it's all right to hurt. We don't remind people and tell them that we are not perfect in all our ways, that we struggle too. And so other people are afraid to be real because they see no one else being real. This project, and even you don't even know this project resonated with me because I go through the ups and downs during this season.
Yeah.
Me, myself, 4 years ago, right on the cusp of Thanksgiving holidays, my brother, my biological brother, who's closest to me in age, died on my birthday, right before Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness.
In the midst of preparing for that, 2 weeks later, my only other biological brother died. So I lost two brothers within 2 weeks during this holiday season.
Oh my goodness.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. My father died on Christmas morning.
Oh my goodness.
And so you know, how can you experience the joy all the time of Christmas when you have this grief and memory? But no one tells you how to deal with that. They just want to know if you're going caroling, if you're going to participate in the Christmas party, if you're going to come do this, or we coming to your house or my house for Christmas. Because to them, it's still the joyous day. But what happens when your joy runs away? How can you deal with that? But no one wants to unmask or unwrap and let that out Pandora's box to say it's okay not to be okay. Just don't stay there. It's okay to cry. But once you cried your last cry, dry your tears because it's going to be all right.
Just hold on.
And when you tell somebody that I know and I understand that your faith is wavering, that even the rope of your hope has become so unraveled that it seems that you have nothing to hold on to, that you wake up in the morning and a tear forms in the corner of your eye, runs erratically down the side of your cheek, comes to the common point of a chin, and drops to the ground as a mark of your misery.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
When it comes to the point in the place that all of this happens to you, where do you turn to? What do you do? You have to have something. And that is to know that if I made it through, you can too.
That's so beautiful. And again, so timely. Folks, listen, I don't know if the hairs on your arm are standing, but mine are, because this is really what it is. It's not just about being eloquent or putting pretty lyrics or pretty melodies on a track. I mean, this is real. And listen, I sat in the studio with this young man, and just to hear the passion, and not just sympathy, but empathy and authenticity, and putting that in that mic, and just let's not even talk about the technical ability. We can just kind of put that aside for the moment. But just seeing all of that passion and empowerment that you heard just now, just imagine a whole entire album project with that, and with the ministry of music strategically placed. I am telling you, you need to stay tuned for this, because this is going to bless you, not just this holiday season, but every day. And I am so excited to be a part of it, because this is something for the people. Our gifts are gifts. They are gifts. They're not ours. They are for other people. But one thing that I know is that sometimes, oftentimes, if not all the time, you have to be blessed. You have to see the blessing in something before somebody else can then see that same blessing in their own space. And that's exactly what this whole effort has been. Everyone who has touched it, who has experienced it, just in the making of it, everybody is ringing the same thing. And I'm so proud to be a part of this project, because again, it is something that you will be able to carry with yourself, I mean, forever, not just in the holiday season. And the beauty is sometimes, we take one step forward, but then we fall back. And sometimes we have to be reminded of these same things. So once you get this in your possession, you could, as needed, go back and be reminded of something that's going to get you through whatever space you're in. And don't be selfish. Like the pastor was saying earlier, share it.
Yes.
Tell other people. Get it as a gift. I think this is going to be one of the most amazing gifts that you can not only give yourself, but that you can give a sister or a brother. So I'm so grateful to you for allowing me to be a part of this effort. And I can't wait for y'all to hear it. It's going to be, it's already amazing. But I can't wait for you to experience the journey of this blessing. It's awesome. So I'm gonna keep you posted. So don't worry about that.
Absolutely. Part of what you're saying is so true, because what happens in this ministry, we won't even say a project.
Thank you.
But this ministry work is that we see you where you're going.
Yes.
And we know that the main thing you have to do is not only be empowered, but be enlightened about your situation and encouraged to move forward.
Yes.
It's easy for us to throw in the towel. It's easy for us to give up. It's easy for us to believe, as the colloquialism is in the South, it is what it is. But I want to change your mindset, not only with this ministry work, but even on this interview today, to stop saying it is what it is, but to say it is what God says it is.
Come on now.
I am who God says I am.
Come on now.
Even though the situation doesn't look that way, I am who God says I am. And so with this work, we're trying to help you to see what God sees. He sees you as victorious, even when you're in grief. He sees you as an overcomer, even when you're depressed.
Wow.
He sees you in your next destiny. He sees you elevated. He sees you in your breakthrough, even when you're feeling lonely. Because he promised never to leave you alone. And so he walks with you through this journey. And we want to walk with you too. And that's why we put this project together.
That's amazing. I'm just excited all over again. Ladies and gentlemen, awesome, beautiful community. You're listening to AWE Radio. I'm your girl, Coré, your host. And we are here unapologetically empowered and always on 24/7 with information and inspiration for your transformation. And if you're just tuning in, I am talking to the incomparable Daryl A. Stover. And don't worry, we will play this in replay throughout the week. I know y'all going to be telling me, play it again. So if you missed it and you're just tuning in, be not dismayed, because we will be playing this throughout the season and likely beyond. So thank you for tuning in. Let me tell you something, Daryl A. Stover. This has been such an amazing, I don't even want to call it an interview, discussion.
Yes.
You are blessed to be a blessing. You are blessing me sitting here talking to you today, and I know that you are blessing this community of listeners. I want to, before we close out, give you the opportunity for a final word to the awesomes.
Well, thank you. And I thank you for your time and allowing me this platform. Your graciousness and your kindness not only blesses me, but allows me to reach out to others and be a blessing to them. To this great gathering of people who gather in the name of being awesome. Know that the title awesome does not come just because you tuned in, but it comes from your creative being of who you are. Let's just look at the word, awesome. When you're in awe of something, you look on with a wishful eye. But then you add some. It's much like what we used to say, oh, I'm all that and then some. Well, here you are. You are awe-inspiring. You are all giving. You are all living. You are all loving. But I gotta add, this is not the end of you, because and then some. So your best is yet to come. Hold on wherever you are. Not just for a long time, but just a little while longer. Pray on, fight on, move on, press on, praise on, because everything is going to be all right. It's not just your here and now, but I see you in the future, and you look better to me than you've ever did before.
Whew! Child, where's the song and all of that? Because I think we have been to church. You heard it here, folks. I can't put anything on top of that because it is what it is. And you heard it here on AWE Radio, where we're unapologetically empowered and always on with information and inspiration for your transformation. Do reach out to us on awemediaco.com. Let us hear from you. Thank you so much, Daryl A. Stover, for blessing us with your beautiful words and your forever ministry. And folks, listen, until next time, be empowered and inspired. And for whatever you do, always enjoy the journey. Until next time.